everybody. It's a pleasure on my behalf as the Executive Director of the Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs to welcome you to this very special occasion as we have the opportunity to dedicate the Percy J. Vaughn Jr. Accreditation Library.
Thank you all so very, very much to respond in a short period of time to honor the one I consider the Dean of Deans. In his own life, he is a maverick for ACBSP. But first, I would like to, on behalf of ACBSP, thank Mr. Percy Vaughn, Mr. Rene Vaughn, and the one, in my opinion, is just a duplicate of Percy. Just a beautiful young woman, Dr. Janice Vaughn. And also, I have always believed that you can dream all you want to dream, but somebody got to make it happen. And I would like to thank the one that just never gave up, worked silently behind scenes, does not search for any credit at all. And Dr. Booth, could you stand up, please? She is one of the pillars that helped make this function reality today. And I just want to thank you for everything you did for the last 2 years. And you are a true ambassador of Alabama State University. And also, I would like to thank our Chief Executive Officer. When I emailed him and said, Doug, let's see what we can do, he never quivered a word. He said, let's get to work. And lo and behold, he dropped everything else he was doing and got it done. So without any further ado, join me in thanking Mr. Doug Viehland. I am truly honored as well to thank another person that has been instrumental in the planning and everything. If you know her, you know that she is a tiger. And when you see her and Percy at the conferences, you either hug them or you run from them. That is Professor Janice Stoudemire, right? I am truly honored to be with you all, and most especially my mentor in so many ways, Dr. Percy Vaughn Jr. When I walked in here a few minutes ago and told him, I said, you are my mentor. He said, I don't know why he keeps saying I am his mentor. When I first got into ACBSP, that was in Region 3. I didn't know what I was doing. because I just came from LSU, who belonged to AA, and I've been very active with AA then. And so when I got into the region, I looked around, just couldn't see anybody that I could just go to immediately. And I was a little bit shy because I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. And Percy was sitting behind, and I can hear that voice. Who is that guy there? Who is that guy there? And I don't care. Any new person coming into the region, Percy will baptize them first. And he came to me after the break and said, son, you're going to do well here. You just have to be focused. And when I began looking for instructors, when I have issues and I saw him at the conferences, I always seek his wisdom. And his wisdom was always right. He was, or say, when he was in the region, he was, in my opinion, the grandfather of the region. When I became president of the region, I used his blueprint. And now still, we are still using his blueprint. It was his mentorship and encouragement that drove me into my activities with this great institution. Percy was instrumental in all the successes, to say the least, that has occurred or say have occurred in Region 3 and of course ACBSP in aggregation. He laid the foundation, and to this effort, Region 3 decided to name the library to honor Percy Vaughn. Some of you may not have read that he was the 2010 president of Region 3. I mean 2000 to 2001 president. And I don't think he would like to continue in that capacity until 2010. He was named on the ACBSP Emeritus member upon retirement from teaching. The Percy Vaughn Library will be used as both a library and work area for the ACBSP staff, and also it will house all the memorabilia of Dr. Percy Vaughn. I can go on and on. I will become selfish because I am extremely passionate when I talk about Percy. There were times that I would have honestly given up, even in my institution, because I am not in the same setting with him. Every time I spoke to Percy, his word was just focus. Just keep doing what you're doing. He's a man of strong integrity, a man committed to the goals of higher education, and a man whose legacy will not be forgotten in the wars of education in the world. Join me in congratulating our own, one who has touched every life, one who will continue to touch every life through honoring of the library, Dr. Percy Vaughn, Jr.
In Region 3, the name Percy Vaughn is synonymous with royalty. The name is invoked, silence falls, and folks wait to hear. What would Percy do? Well, I did not have the good fortune to work closely with Percy. I had a brief interaction with him that revealed to me his character. I was doing my initial evaluator training, and Percy was there doing a refresher. He was, of course, the pro at the table, and all of the rest of us sitting around the table learning from him. At the end of the session, Percy looked at the group and said, "I'd be happy to take any one of you on a visit." I knew Percy was always the encourager, with words of affirmation that made people feel just a little better for having spent time with Percy Vaughn. I asked some folks with extensive experience with Percy for reflection. Here are some of those comments from John Espy. He says, "I served as Region 3 president just as Percy was completing his term as president of ACBSP. We had the annual conference in New York, which is a tough place to have a conference, but of course, Percy pulled it off front and center at Broadway. When we had a regional conference in Gallatin, Tennessee, folks realized it was going to be a challenging drive for everyone. Our session started on Friday morning, and Percy taught a class at Alabama State University. Thursday night, he finished class, went home, slept a bit, and then drove from Montgomery, arriving in time for the entire conference. That's typical Percy Vaughn. Even though he had just organized and finished the annual conference in New York, he never took his foot off the gas pedal. I have a great memory of one of those closing banquet galas that ACBSP does so well. It was a milestone year for the council, and several founding members were recognized. At the conclusion, there stood Percy alongside another founder, George Oliver, who said, "Well, brother, we did it." Percy did his brief smile, and of course, they had done it. ACBSP flourished from its beginnings, largely due to Percy's efforts, who sat down with a few other folks in Kansas City and decided the organization was necessary. It's easy to look back and think all this just happened. Percy Vaughn makes things happen. Need a leader to clear the air or make the point, ring the reality bell, get Percy Vaughn. Percy always has his eyes open. New people always got a greeting from Percy Vaughn. He is always asking, who is that person and where are they from? And let's get them involved. Percy Vaughn is one of the founders, respected leaders, and driving engines. John concludes by saying, "It's great to know Percy Vaughn." Dale King, the current president of Region 3, do give our love and best wishes to Percy. And ask him what that verse from Malachi is that you heard him quote. I want him to know that his faith was such an inspiration to us because he lives his life with the guidance of the good Lord. But I have looked through the chapters of Malachi, and I think I know which passage it was when he was present that he quoted, but I'd like to know for sure, so you'll have to tell me so I can share that with them. Wayne King, her husband and past president, said, "It is an honor to call Percy my friend." The thing that amazed me so much about this little giant from Alabama was he was old school, yet he had an uncanny ability to incorporate what needed to be in the future and apply it to the present. I have no idea how he did it. He must have had a crystal ball that he consulted before making his decisions. Percy never minded telling you you were wrong about something. Now, this is Wayne, not me. We had the telling you you're wrong about something. Not only did he tell you you were wrong, but he'd tell you the best way to fix it too. I think of Percy as a politician and quite the charmer. I was president of Region 3 in 2001. We held a conference in Hickory, North Carolina. So I sent Percy the driving directions to get him to the conference, which started on Friday. Apparently, Percy had difficulty following the directions. And even though he left Alabama on Thursday, he didn't arrive at the conference until the closing luncheon on Saturday. When I asked him why it was so late, he said, there's just too many nice golf courses that I stopped and played a few. Then he wanted to know, where's the shrimp on the menu, and did he win the door prize? That's Percy. Percy, you have lived your life trusting God and loving all people, great and small. Your life has been a model for all of us to follow. All of us in ACBSP Region 3 love you and thank you for putting your fingerprints on ACBSP to guide us into the future. You're the man. While several other people send their greetings and wish they were here, I felt those three former presidents represented the region pretty well. Ladies and gentlemen, we see the future with greater sharpness, greater clarity, with a more robust vision for having stood on the shoulders of Percy Vaughn.
Speaking and doing are two different actions. The best results arrive when man's speaking of good words matches with his actions that benefits everyone. When it comes to Percy, I think of the saying, how you coach them is how they're going to play. He coached all of us in ACBSP by sharing life's experiences and God's faithfulness. I know that I'm a better person just from knowing you, but being able to watch you actually live God's word each day. And one of the things you taught me was the difference between a stumbling block in life and a stepping stone is simply how high you choose to lift your foot. So I just wanted to give you these words to live by. It's not how much you accomplish in life that really counts, but how much you give to others. It's not how high you build your dreams that makes a difference, but how high your faith can climb. And it's not how many goals that you have achieved, but how many lives you have changed and made a difference. And it's not who you know that matters, but who you are inside. You always believed in the impossible. You always told us to hold on to the incredible and to live each life in God's name and glory and to reach our full potential. You have made a difference in the world of so many people, and we love you.
The first meeting that I attended for ACBSP in Region 4 was in 2011. Janice Stoudemire said that Region 3 had pledged $10,000 to name the library at the ACBSP new headquarters building in honor of Dr. Vaughn. She also said that they needed a match of $10,000. As I reflect back, there was no thinking about what the next step should be. I said without any hesitation that the College of Business Administration would take care of that match. Sort of like in church, you get an inspiration and then you think about what you've done. But within 2 weeks after returning to campus, $11,395 was raised. That was because of Dr. Vaughn, and that was a reflection of what he has meant to his faculty, staff, students, and graduates. I am honored to have the opportunity to continue to build upon the foundation that he left at Alabama State. Our mission in part states that we provide business education to those who might not otherwise be given that opportunity. No one has reflected that better than Dr. Vaughn. There was a young man, his name was Denarius, and because of a reading disability he had, we had to provide him with extra time to complete exams. Most people would have given up on him, but Dr. Vaughn saw a promise and a vision. He graduated in 2008. He has since gotten his master's degree, is completing an EDD program at Central State Michigan University. He was named as one of Michigan's paper's 40 under 40. He's employed by the U.S. Army as an executive project officer. He has also started a nonprofit organization, Real Impact. Real individuals making progressive achievements and continuous transformations. He says he wants to be a motivational force propelling youth forward and encouraging them to see their full potential, because that's what Dr. Vaughn did for him. There are so many like him that could not have accomplished their dreams if not for Percy J. Vaughn. They come by weekly with stories of how he believed in them, how he pushed them, and sometimes even how he threatened them, but that's Dr. Vaughn. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Business Administration, students past and present, I salute you. And thank you for allowing us to share part of your life space, benefit from your vision, your entrepreneurial spirit, and your unwavering demand of high quality and commitment to all things student-centered. Congratulations on a very well-deserved honor, and thank you.
Wow, such a big crowd. It's all for you.
Don't be nervous, we don't bite.
Never nervous. When my sister, the second boss of the family, Denise, called me on Monday and said, "We need you to say a few words on behalf of Dad. He's getting dedicated for the library." Of course, I said, "Okay." When I hung up the phone, I said, "What and when?" Which was 2 or 3 days. So with that in mind, I basically took a half hour, which I know that I can take much longer to write this. So I thought of the things as us growing up as kids, and Denise and my dad and my mother and all the friends and family. But being a graduate of Alabama State University, I think I received most of the brunt of all the punishment of all the students at Alabama State University. So as I begin my thoughts as far as about my dad, which was very easy for me to write. It is a privilege to stand before you and honor a man who is our father, confident, and motivator, Dr. Percy J. Vaughn, Jr. The dedication of this library by the ACBSP means a great deal to our family, and of course to others. My name is Rene, and here with me, my sister Janice, and my brother Percy J. Vaughn III. By the way, he named him Percy, named me Rene. He's a man of strong determination and goodwill, and will fight for what he believes in, and that was educating thousands of students who have graduated from the College of Business at Alabama State University, Montgomery, Alabama. 39 years at ASU. What an amazing accomplishment and contribution to the education field, which is one of many reasons we are really proud of you. I know there are many people that were part of your journey and could not be here to share this joyous occasion. But I am sure you are in our thoughts and prayers. There's a quote that resonated with me for this occasion, and it is by Martin Luther King Jr. And I read, "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character. That is the goal of education." As a former graduate of Alabama State University, I had the privilege of taking a class or two under his leadership, and so did my brother while he was at Texas Tech. Let me tell you, it was a challenge, to say the least, but rewarding experience. Many of the students would share that he is known to bark loud, meaning to be stern, but deep inside care more about educating his students more than any college professor or dean on the campus. Yes, I'm biased, but it's the truth. I've lived from California, Miami, Florida, Kansas City, Chicago, and I've come across many graduates that would say, "Your father, Dean Vaughn." I said, "Yes." Boy, he was a mean man. But if it wasn't for him, they would not be where they are today. I would like to share with you a couple of verses of a song that exemplifies the attributes of my father, Dr. Vaughn. This was a song that he cherished to his heart, that I sang as growing up, And some of you may know it because of singer Elvis Presley, or his favorite, Frank Sinatra. And the title of the song is My Way, which I will read a couple verses. And now the end is here, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I lived a life that is full. I traveled every highway. And more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I have a few, but then again, too few to mention. Of course, you do have very few. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the way. And more, much more than this, I did it my way. In closing, so Pops, we love you, and you will always be in our prayers to continue being the dedicated, loving person you are because you did it your way.
My daughter told me to be brief, but you see what she presented. Be brief? Oh, what the hell. I may let out a few oops and ops and what have you. I'm a 1999 prostate cancer survivor. Diabetes and everything else you could do or give an 82-year-old man. So periodically, neuropathy, look it up in the library when you get home, hit me. And if it does, I holler. And so if I holler, I don't care whether you like it or not, it hurts. It really hurts. And they've been going through it. And they said, what happened, Dad? I said, neuropathy. And it's in my shoulders now, Ron. That's where the cancer has moved. But from 1999 to present day, and just recently, yesterday? Yes, yesterday we buried my brother-in-law, 78 years old. And my niece died on her birthday, the 12th. My niece passed, and she was 50. Psalms, the 30th chapter, the 5th verse. Read it when you get home. You heard my cry, and you answered, and you healed me. That is, I think, what has happened to me now. I don't know what God has planned for me, but I'm still here. January the 11th, 1932, do the math. I'm still here. Yes, I have a cane. I leave it in drugstores and shopping basket all over. And they come, Dr. Vaughn, come get your cane. But I'm still kicking. So if I holler, I don't care whether you like it or not, I hurt. And I have to relieve. Lisa, be brief. Well, it's large enough so I can read it.
Right.
Because my eyesight is drifting with the years. I want to initiate my remarks by expressing my sincere gratitude to all of you on the staff. All of you. Because this is not easy, making plans of a situation of this nature. Especially dedicating a library in my honor. Wow. How can I be so blessed? I'd like to send heartfelt blessings to Anthony. I'm going to give it a try. Give it a try. Minimal? That's close, Lance.
You're right.
That's close. That's close as I'm going to get. That's close as I'm going to try to get. Ron, you don't even try. No, you don't. As I looked at it, I said, Anthony sounds better to me. Especially from Dean of the Fitness School at Gardner Webb University. If I see you all on the football team or basketball team losing, I think of you. The team losing, not you. I said they need Anthony to coach that team. It would be losing so much. I want to recognize Dr. Laquita Booth, who has worked so hard and took time out from a hectic schedule to be here. It's not easy getting from Montgomery, Alabama to Kansas, Seoul, and Kansas, but she's here. And she's going to be with me until we leave. Thank you, Laquita, for being who you are and what you have done and what you're doing. They don't know, but I know. And I know what you're going through. The ball is in your court, not mine. Don't call me. Please don't call me. Anything, as I told you when I left, it's over. No stress, no strain. Get up when I get ready. Go to bed when I get ready. And sometimes stay up all night and sleep all day. And I said I wasn't going to have live, so I'm going to stick to this, Denise, so I can be brief. I'm equally delighted to have my 5 children. To have 5 children, and 3 of them here with you, as you have met. 2 of my offsprings were unable to join us. And they are Dr. Tracy Vaughn, an ENT surgeon. She's probably in some hospital in New Orleans at the VA operating, or if she's on call on an emergency, or Duran, who's probably digging in somebody's computer in Houston, Texas. The present-day Accreditation Council of Business Schools and Programs is the result of some restructuring and addressing issues of inequality. The smaller colleges and universities like Alabama State University and Gardner-Webb University and others, universities at that time felt that our infrastructure were unique. Yet we were held to pay the same fees, but were forbidden to hold office. We could pay the fees, but we couldn't hold office, nor be on any committees, and all we could do was attend the meetings and wait until the accredited schools come out of the meetings, Joy and Joel, and we just would be standing around looking. We got tired of that. We got tired of it. And Donna, you know what we did. Ron, you know what we did. We paid the same dues and fees, but were forbidden to hold offices and serve on any committees. The reason being that we were not accredited by the organization. And we had difficulty meeting their criteria and standards, especially the PhDs in publication perished standards. Many of our presidents desired accreditation from the original standards, but at the same time they would not give us the budget to do the recruiting or compete with the other schools. At that time, there were only 2 minority schools accredited, believe it or not. Texas Southern, Houston, Texas, and Howard University in Washington, D.C. And they would go in the meetings, come out laughing, and they would come to our meeting, which we, believe it or not, at their meeting, would get a suite, and the small schools would hold a meeting within the meeting, even though we had paid dues to be at the major meeting, but there was nothing in their content that was applicable to our schools. So we made up things to make that we could go back and not feel like our time was wasted. And that went on for years until we got tired. John Green called a meeting, and we met at the Marriott, the same Marriott that we're meeting now. And there were over approximately, I would say, about 600 or 700 schools that met there, which was surprising. Yes, it was. After a few adjustments, the new organization tailored to correspond with the environment, our schools felt that we could meet. Part of the ACESP current mission is to improve students' learning still, in addition to providing opportunities for community service. It is my hope that this new structure will serve as point of reference for researchers deans, directors, professors, students, searching of knowledge about the ACBSP and their own individual abilities and capabilities as they relate to the world around them. This is something that we had looked forward to. I think we were in a meeting, Ron, and somebody brought up the fact that the Baldrige, or whatever it was at that time, you remember? I don't remember the lady name, and we were, I think the 2-year schools had the presidency at that time. And it was before my coming in as the president the next year. And she started talking about it. And so she was going on to something. I said, oh, hold it. Point of order. I said, I don't know whether I'm in order, but I'm going to take this. I said, Ron, aren't you the guru on quality? You remember that, Ron? And he said, yes. And I said, ma'am, what's your role in it? She said, well, I know. I said, committee formed. Committee formed. And that was the beginning of the Baldrige of the ACBSP that you have today. This is the way we did it. Formality was nothing. If it was needed to be done, we did it. As Rene said, we did it our way. And here you are today. And your guru is still here. Are you using it? Or has he retired? I don't know. But don't let him retire.
We're working.
You're working?
We're working.
You're working. Don't call me.
He's involved.
He's involved.
That's right.
I have my golf gloves in the trunk of my car, and I've been riding around with them for 6 years because my cardiologist said, don't touch those gloves other than take them in and out of your car. But now, Ron, she says, get back on the golf course. I don't know what has happened. Put a pacemaker in here. I can go wherever you go. And I can do whatever you do. So, no, Rene, these two play golf. He just got back from Scotland playing at, what was it, the original St. Andrew. Boy, isn't he lucky. I don't like him for that too. Rene, he didn't invite either one of us, did he?
No, I don't think so.
Psalms, the 30th chapter. The 2nd verse. I cried to my Lord, and I'm paraphrasing, and he heard my cry and healed me. Psalms, the 30th chapter, and the 2nd verse. I cried to my Lord, and he heard my cry and healed me. I think that's what is happening to me. At 82 years of age, and I cried to him every morning, and I think he's healing me. Thank you.